have to strive for a middle in this country. We've got to try and form consensus, but you only do that if you put forward smart policy that seems to be fair to everybody involved. And this executive order doesn't meet that standard.
According to Congressman John Sarbanes, that's what's driving people to show up at airports across the country and here in Baltimore, protesting President Donald Trump's executive order banning refugees from 7 countries from entering the United States.
I know the president wants to protect the country, but I'm not sure this executive order is the way to do that, because it doesn't project our values in a way that people will respect us around the world.
People packed the international arrivals terminal, at many times shouting, "No hate, no fear, refugees are welcome here." Several members of Congress showed up to support the protest.
He ultimately has the authority to make certain decisions, but what he has to understand, his board of directors are Congress, and there are 550 of us, and he needs to work with us.
The demonstrations are making a lot of noise. The big question, is the president listening?
Oh yeah, he will listen, but we got to keep it up.
Lawmakers say they're ready to stand with their constituents.
That people have to understand that if they do not like what's going on, they have to do what they're doing today. They have to come out, stand up, and stand out. And so I am excited about this, because this is democracy in action.
And get to work in Washington.
We have to go to the courts. We have to make sure that people's rights are respected.
BWI put out a statement on Twitter saying, thanks to the people that gathered peacefully here tonight, you had the opportunity to speak and allowed passengers and airlines to operate freely. By the way, former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley was also here in attendance at tonight's protest. We're live tonight from BWI. Vanessa Herring, WBAL TV 11 News.
Well, Vanessa, thank you. While most congressional Republicans haven't weighed in on the debate, Maryland's lone Republican in Congress says he supports President Trump.
Yeah, tonight Representative Andy Harris tells 11 News he believes the travel ban and the suspension of the Syrian refugee program are both necessary.
In the case of Syria, we may never be able to determine whether these refugees are safe for immigration into the United States, and until we can, I think it's perfectly reasonable to protect this country by asking those people to stay either in detainment facilities or in refugee camps overseas while we determine whether they're safe.
Last year, Congressman Harris voted for a bill that would have slowed down the refugee program and require additional vetting of people fleeing Syria. Senate Democrats killed that measure. Congressman Harris also told us tonight that he doesn't understand why people are protesting, claiming Trump's executive order will keep Americans safe. Well, 16 attorney generals, including Maryland AG Brian Frosh, have condemned President Trump's travel ban. They say religious liberty is one of the cornerstones of this country, and no president should be allowed to change that. The attorney generals all expect the president's order to be struck down in the court. But in the meantime, they say they'll work to make sure as few as people possible suffer from that. Well, today, veterans from various military branches partnered with a Muslim community center in Baltimore. They held a forum on unity. The goal was to help put an end to anti-Muslim rhetoric.
Hundreds of people packed into the Wildlife Interfaith Center in Columbia to discuss Howard County's sanctuary bill today. Several undocumented immigrants and members of the Muslim community talked about the importance of that bill. The legislation would prevent local police from checking someone's immigration status, and it specifically blames the President Trump for adding to the immigration controversy. The vote for the bill is on February 6th. University of Maryland's president had this to say about the travel ban. We are currently assessing how this executive order may affect the students and scholars at our campus who come from these countries. It is in America's national interest that we continue to welcome talented individuals from all nations to study, teach, and do research.